really we need to start in Madrid.
Yes.
And in that quite remarkable Atletico Madrid Manchester United game in the first leg of the last 16 of the Champions League. A poor performance by United in many respects, but in the end, somehow a decent result. Is that a good way for you to sum it up? Poor but decent result in the end?
Yeah, for sure. I think I would 100% agree with that. I think when they were going into the game, a lot of people over in the UK were thinking, United are probably going to win because Atletico have had such a poor season domestically. But it's the same for Man United. So it's a game between two sides fighting to try and even qualify for the competition again next year.
Yeah.
But that performance from Atletico, I thought, in the first bit was to put United under pressure. And United looked very poor, looked very sloppy. And it's almost gotten to the point, in my opinion, where you're almost more surprised if they play really well for a prolonged period of time, as opposed to, say, the way that they played yesterday. But in fairness, Elanga came on, he made a difference, he scored the goal, and then the mentality can be completely switched. And I think for some, with a manager, you want to see a change in performance, you want to see that progression. But when the manager's going to be leaving at the end of the season anyway, I suppose results are just the biggest thing, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess. The one thing that got me really, really early on is Rangnick said we need to start on the front foot, like we did at Leeds on Sunday in the Premier League. This is very important. Yeah. Those players are very experienced, all of them. They know exactly the kind of atmosphere they would be, which would be similar to the one at Ellen Road at Leeds. They arrive at the stadium, there's all the Athletic fans with the flares, so they know it's a big game, it's a big atmosphere, it's going to be hostile. Mm-hmm. And what do? They have probably the most lethargic first 15-20 minutes for sure, probably first 45 minutes that we've seen from them and from a lot of teams this season. So what, you're not ready psychologically? Is the manager not giving you the tools to be ready? It's not just McTominay not being there and have that fiery personality in midfield.
I think it's interesting because at times, we can blame a manager, but then I would challenge anybody within their workplace. Do they get inspired by their boss? Like, if you know what I mean? If you're in the office and your boss comes through and says, today's your big day, need you to crunch those numbers, would you be like, yeah, I'm going to crunch those numbers?
Depends how he says it, I guess.
Well, maybe. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you. And I think for those players to start the way that they did, it's so naive because you can't offer encouragement to Atletico at home with their manager G'ing up the crowd, the players G'ing up the crowd, because that can be such a hostile place to play. So it's bizarre that they did that. But then in the same breath, like, what do we expect? Is that I don't want to sound like I'm bashing Man United because I don't really
no,
try
but
not
it's a
to.
fair assessment.
But it's just like the lots of good players on paper, they look really good, and I think they have an idea of what they need to do. But it seems like at the minute on a week-to-week basis, it's just not there, and you've got to ask the question why.
Were they not helped by Rangnick's tactics from kickoff? So Lindelof at right back, when you've got Diogo Dalot and Wan-Bissaka on the bench, doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I know McTominay is ill, you can't play him, but Fred and Pogba as a partnership, and we've seen it for many years, it doesn't work. No. It's just Fred is almost swamped by Pogba. Pogba in a game like this was really poor, and Kondogbia showed him the way he should have played. Yeah. And then you've got obviously the Cristiano conundrum. One touch, Nedum. One touch in the Atletico box in the whole 90 minutes. How come he touched the ball only once in the box?
I genuinely don't know. I really, really don't know. But, well, I do know. It's because there's not enough creativity within the side. They don't control possession enough. They don't control possession enough higher up in the field to be able to get those touches. And sometimes if you're doing it, like say for Elanga when he scored his goal, he's getting the touch purely because the game was stretched. But when the game's not stretched, the people playing up there, it's not easy access to get in the box, especially against a side that committed. But I'm with you, the situation with Lindelof, I didn't really get it. As I saw the team come out, I thought maybe they're playing a 3 or something.
Yeah, me too.
But then to see him playing right back is weird with 2 right backs on the side. But clearly he had an idea about it. And then the partnership of Fred and Pogba, for as good as, say, it could potentially be, it literally wasn't there. And it definitely needed to be there in that game. But again, we take the positives. They got a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, of course. When Rangnick said at the end, some players in our team should get inspired by the way Elanga plays, who do you think is targeting, or we all know who it is?
We've probably got a rough idea of who he's talking to in particular, but like it's tough
for a manager to come out and say something like this.
Yeah,
right?
But you can deny you're talking about anyone in particular. Someone can say, he must be this guy. I say, well, I didn't say his name, did I? Because it could be obvious. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like we have certain managers in the Premier League who are being very clear about their emotions at the minute, which we'll get into. But I know what he's trying to say, and it was good to see him come on and to be so front foot and to be stretching the game.
He's a good kid.
Exactly.
We need to show some love, of course, to Athletic because for me, certainly, it was the best performance of the season. I didn't expect them to play that way, to not just be more solid defensively. I mean, it was easy because of how poor United were, but still to be on the front foot, to have Joao Felix in that kind of form. I mean, this is what you paid 120 million for, you know. And yes, they pressed really well. I think they were helped by the fact that because of Lindelof at right back, the only way really United could play or try to play out of the press was on the left-hand side, which was too predictable. But I thought they pressed well, they moved well, they were very aggressive in midfield, and they had Joao Felix.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think going into the game, I don't have high expectations for Atletico. You see the amount of goals they conceded in La Liga. You're thinking, well, this could be an interesting game. But in fairness to them, it felt like Atletico of old in terms of how they play in certain Champions League games where the crowd get right into it. They're sort of swarming on the opposition. And like they've got such a great relationship, the players and the fans.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they sort of feed off each other. So when they go out and press and they put you under pressure, the crowd are going to say they want more, and they keep giving them more. And for United, they were so sloppy at times in possession that it sort of played into that sort of atmosphere which you don't need when you play against a side like that. So I'd say you have to give them credit.
Yeah.
Obviously disappointed because it's only 1-1, but they should have every confidence going to Old Trafford because other teams have won there as well.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.